Hello, my name is Christopher Xu, and this is my code for the interview for the using switch statement for interview 4 for my C++ class. First, I include a preprocessor directive that uses the header file IOStream. This allows us to use the cin and cout objects to get input and display output. Next, we include the using namespace standard. This, in essence, allows us to access uh, objects from the standard library, and in essence allows us to use those objects included library as if we are using them in our own scope. So in essence, that allows us to basically use objects such as cin and cout without having to include the prefix std like this right here. So in our code, we first declare a integer number, a variable number of type int. Then we prompt the user to enter an integer and store that value in our variable number. Then we go on to our switch statement. The expression in our switch statement is number mod 2, and this is what determines which case is going to run. For example, if the number in this expression, number mod 2 is equal to 0, we hop over to case 0 over here. We display even to display that our number inputted is an even number. And then we break out of the code. If we didn't have break, the program would continue to case 1 and the default case, which we obviously wouldn't want. Likewise, if number mod 2 is case 1, we skip case 0 and then pop over to case 1 over here, display the display odd, which shows that our number is a odd integer, and likewise we also break in order to not run the default line in the default in our switch statement. Finally, if number mod 2 isn't 1 or 0, we will go to the default statement and enter an error and it says enter an integer because we want our code to we want number mod 2 to be either 0 or 1 for the context of our code. Finally, we return 0 for a successful completion of our code. Here's an example of my code running. We enter 5. We get an odd number, right? So that's how our code should work. It works correctly. And if we enter a even number like 10, yep, our code displays even for an even number.